And welcome back here to the Texas High School Coaches Association at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. Bobby Stotzenberger with you on TexasSportsProductions.com. As we have now with us our next victim, as they say, or next interview, Rodney Williams. He is the new head coach of the Judson Rockets. And, man, you throw all that together, new head coach Judson Rockets, that's got to be exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
A little bit. It's kind of like surreal right now because you sit there and, when I came to Judson years ago, it was like I want to come here to a program to challenge myself as a coach because I always challenge myself as an athlete. And then now all of a sudden just finally being in the right place at the right time, at least it gives me a chance to see if I'm really ready to be in these shoes.
From Flatonia to Converse, it's a big jump.
Big jump. And I did take my first job in Flatonia in 1999.
He's a Flatonia. Don't let him sell himself short. He was a star athlete there and on in college as well.
Yeah. And the knee injury kind of derailed me a little bit from everything, but things happen for a reason. And you stay with the right people and meet the right people, and next thing you know, you get put in a position to kind of lead a very, very storied program.
Take us through your journey as a coach. You mentioned you started at Flatonia. You've been at a lot of different schools.
Well, Flatonia, when I retired from baseball, I was at home and the coach was like, "Hey, you want a job?" I'm like, "Nah, not really." And next thing you know, I had to call him back and took a job in Flatonia, stayed there 1 year. And then Robert Lenoff at Church Clemens High School called me. He said, "Well, I don't have a high school job, but I have a job for you in the district." So I went to Dobie Middle School. And now Dobie feeds in the Steel, ironically. And I would go up there after my day at Dobie, and then I would go up to Clemens and kind of just stick my nose in there and do whatever they asked me to do. And next thing you know, I get a job there. Then 2005, Coach Farrar pulled me in the office and said, "Hey, I'm going to be the head coach. I want you to run the offense." And I had a lot of success there. And after I left there, went over to I had a few options to go. And me and Coach McCullough were really good friends for years and years and years. And he called me and said, "Hey, would you come to Judson?" And being I didn't have to move too far, the rest is history.
Well, and you, Sean, I guess, had a 5-year run. Is that right?
2014, yes.
Okay, my math.
Yeah, 14, 15. Yeah.
I'm having to pull the fingers out here, but yeah, I mean, it was a good run that Sean had. Were you as his coordinator?
Yes.
Were you surprised, or did you kind of know that he was itching to move on somewhere else or try to have a different challenge?
Well, we had talked a few times about different scenarios and stuff over the years, and we got close in 14, got close in 15, just could never get over that hump. And then you get Veterans Memorial open up, so kind of, I guess, took a few kids from us, and he was like, "Man, maybe we just need to go to Houston or something." We always messed around with it, and I guess this time it was for real, And I told him, I said I would think about going with him. And because, 10 years ago, I tell a lot of guys this, 10 years ago I was itching to be a head coach. And now it's like, I do enough right now, I think, as a coach and a person, that if I didn't get a head job, it would be okay. But my daughter is going to be a sophomore at Judson, and I asked her, and she said, "Nah, Dad, I really don't want to go to Houston." So I said, "Well, let me try my luck and see what happens."
And she's a softball player there at Judson.
Yes, sir.
So
she had a pretty good year.
Well, that helps with your decision, doesn't it?
Yeah, because, in the end, it's not about me no more.
Yeah.
I'm not to say I'm getting up in age, but I've been around. This is my 20th year coaching, and a lot of coaches always tell you, said, don't get so caught up that you forget about your family. And I was actually the softball coach last year, so I don't know many coaches that can say they get to coach their daughter.
Right.
So that's something that I can't even think. I can't even put into words how that made me feel to be able to be on the field with my baby and see her grow. I got 3 years with her, and then she's out. And so that's what I'm looking at now. Football is going to be football. I want to do my job, but when it's yours, it's a whole different story.
You're kind of coming full circle with you mentioned Greg Ferrara.
Greg Ferrara.
Is the rumor I'm hearing correct?
It is correct.
He's coming to join you.
He is coming to coach D-line. And
I haven't seen Greg in years, and I know that if you want to talk about intensity, he's going to be right up near the top of the list of guys that I remember.
Oh, yeah. I learned a lot from him. When I was on his staff, he made me, he would get on me. I was like, God, why is he yelling at me? But now that I go back and look at it, I wouldn't be the coach I am now if it wasn't for him pushing me, not just to be an okay coach, but to be better than everybody. And when I got this position and I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to see if I can get guys that been knowing me forever. And I asked him, and we fiddle-faddle with it, and I told him I would take care of him, and he said, okay, so he's going to coach our D-line.
That's an awesome deal because he's got – you talk about a great pedigree.
Yeah.
And now, has he been out of coaching, or is he –
Well, he was at Alamo Heights with Coach
all right.
with Coach Normie over there for probably the last 3 or 4 years coaching O-line and doing track. And I said, hey, I can get you the same position over here. And he said, sure, let's go. So
well, that's good.
I'm
looking forward to seeing him again. I don't we have our own crew, Dave Parker and the guys that do Alamo Heights, so I haven't had a chance to see Greg over the years. Tell our viewers and listeners, what is the status as an interim coach? I know it was a similar situation when Mark Smith left to go to and Sean. It was later in the process, and so Sean was named interim coach. Explain to our audience what that means and how does that move forward for you?
From what I was told is that she wants to go through the process and she wanted to have a little bit of sense of stability with the guys that were there. She
meaning
Dr. Ball,
superintendent,
with the guys that were there. And when I went and met with her about it, I said, from a coach's standpoint, if somebody doesn't get named, we kind of as coaches feel like, okay, we might want to get a job somewhere because you probably looking to go in a different direction. And which I told that was fine. I said, that's fine. I'm at a position in my life now where, I can do a lot of different things. But when we came back and talked and she said, well, seems like a lot of guys are rooting for you. And I said, that's, I appreciate that. But in the end, I'm going to respect whatever decision you make. And so she said, well, let's do this right now and get through the season and see what we can do from there. So I'm just fortunate enough, and I'm really appreciate her giving me the chance, and we're going to go from there. So
when the season's over in mid-December, right?
Hopefully mid-December.
Right before Christmas.
Right before Christmas.
Right when you walk off the field at AT&T Stadium. I know that's does it start again at that point? Or obviously if you get that far, do you feel like it's automatic?
I guess we're going to be a wait and see.
Yeah.
I just told her, you're going to get everything I have.
I would think that if you get that far, they just hand you the keys.
Well, we're going to see. I'm hoping that's the case.
And maybe name a street after you like they do the girls basketball team. That was a great celebration at Judson.
Great. I
think they named a street, Lady Rocket Way.
Lady Rocket Way or something like that. That was good. Those girls,
it was fantastic.
I've been watching them since they came into high school, and they were the same way. They just could never get over the hump. Then finally this year, it just clicked.
Well, you mentioned getting over the hump. Judson has such a great tradition, and is there any nerves when you think about the history of Frank Arnold, Coach Arnold's out there.
Last night.
By the way, he's still here, folks. He's out in the hall working. Frank's been here forever. Frank Arnold, D.W. Rutledge, Jim Rackley, and then, of course, the short reign with Mark Smith, a couple of good years, and then Sean had 5 good seasons. But you think about that history and that pedigree, and you look up there and say, man, what a group and what an opportunity. And now I'm going to have a chance to be in the same breath as those guys.
Yeah, the nerves come out right before the kickoff, and they all walk through that gate and shake your hand and tell you good luck tonight. And I'm like, oh, please don't lay an egg. That's all I'm thinking to myself. And, but once the ball gets kicked, you become who you are. But it's almost, you can't even put into words to look up on that board every day to see what they've done and how they set the foundation at Judson. And I don't think it's really hit me yet still that, hey, you something very, very big. And, I was told, be myself. I said, don't try to be those guys. They did their thing. And, I'm saying, I'm going to try to do my thing, but I'm just going to do it the way I know how to do it.
Did you seek advice from any of the guys I just mentioned?
Well, they've all given me their numbers. Coach
right.
Rackley, Coach Rutledge gave me their numbers, said if you ever need anything. And then, me and Sean talk all the time because, that was a new thing for Sean when he got it.
Right.
Now, he had never been a head coach. I had been we had both been assistant head coach. we kind of hit that together. So I kind of learned some things on what to do, and and maybe a few tricks of the trade here and there. But so, yeah, I mean, I think if I have to, I know they're answer the phone, and that's something that you got to always appreciate.
All right, so you mentioned getting over the hump, and I know the last couple of probably particularly the last 3.
Last 3 years.
Because you've had 3 winnable games against really good teams. Westlake was a great team.
Very good team.
But you had the fumble in the overtime that
Yep.
you were close to winning that. And then, of course, the Lake Travis game the last 2 years, they've been crazy games.
Yep.
And certainly the Cavaliers deserve a lot of credit, but it's one of those situations where when there's a moment in a game that needs to go right, it seemed like it went right for them a lot more times than it did for Judson the last 2 years. Now, they're a great program. Judson's a great program, but getting over that hump, you mentioned it. Judson hasn't played for a state championship since 2007.
Yep.
Still a really great program. Do you think that Judson's program is still on the same level it's always been, and other teams in the area or in the region have caught up? Or do you think that there's been a slip in the program from the glory days, so to speak?
The glory days, when you go back and look at it, and I was talking to one of my kids' dads, you had Madison, you had Judson, you had, just a few teams in the area. Well, now, and especially with the way the kids work out, the nutrition and all that, everybody has kids now.
Right.
And so I'm not going to say Judson has went down. It's just that now it's like it's so many more brought up, and I mean it's a bloodbath trying to go up there every day and play these games like that. And then like last year, Lake Travis had Garrett Wilson,
right?
Then they got Hudson Carr. They got so many great athletes that people are like, oh, Judson, you should beat them. Like, well, we think so, but you look on that other side, some of those guys are going to be playing on Sundays,
right?
And then when you look at it that way, it's like, well, dang, I said, maybe we just got to find a way to flip the switch 1 or 2 plays here and there, and I don't know. The
break's got to come your way at some point.
At some point, you hope so. It did for our girls, so maybe it'll jump to us eventually.
Well, we had Terry Gamble from Allen on. He was our first interview today, and I asked him about that D1 6A D1 bracket last year. That was murderer's row.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever seen a bracket top to bottom in all regions as strong as what we saw last year in 6A D1. It was unbelievable.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you look at the last time we played Galena Park was 15, I guess,
right.
and those guys were unbelievable. Then I watched them on film. Just you try to take a peek just in case. And I talked to Sean. I was like, Sean, I said, I don't know, man. I said, these guys are unbelievable.
Right.
And then you watch Duncanville in the finals,
right.
and they had kids that just looked
right.
made Galena Park kids look like average kids. I'm like, God, that would have been something. It would have been fun to take that challenge.
Right.
But like you said, you look at it, it's like, man, I hope we can just make it to that game and, with good health, because those are some very special athletes that we saw on TV, those games.
Well, we got a couple more minutes here. This Judson team, you lose a ton on defense. I mean, you had incredible talent and great kids, too.
Yeah.
DeMarvin Leal, Sincere McCormick played a little defensive offense for you as well. Rashad Wisdom, I don't know that they don't make very many Rashad Wisdoms out there.
No.
But you still have a little bit of a core. Well, your quarterback's back. You got some good receivers. You got an incredibly talented running back that was a sophomore. Yep. Do you have enough to build around to have a successful team? And I know that you'll rely on younger players defensively, but they were really, really good as freshmen, just like Rashad and Sincere and them were, and y'all won with them when they were young on defense. Can it still happen?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I've sat back and watched the workouts this summer, and this is probably one of the most intense summers I've seen them have since I've been there. I mean, the kids are buying into just being, as they say, they trying to be dogs. And then, and I let them do what they want to do. But I sit back and watch, and every day these guys are almost to the point where they are throwing up on the field just because they're giving everything they got in the workout. Because they watched the games last year and the last couple of years too. And, that freshman class coming up, they were like, Coach, we didn't lose a game last year. We don't want to lose. And I said, well, y'all do something about it. All we can do is tell y'all how to do it, but y'all got to go do it.
You're the one on the field.
You're the ones on the field. And the workouts, I think the way it's going right now, we won't be, we won't have the glamour guy in the, DeMarvin in the middle, Daniel Williams or,
right.
Those guys. But we're going to have a lot of kind of like the old Judson. It's going to be a smaller defense that can move. And I'm hoping they move and make a few plays here and there because it's going to be something kind of keep your eye on. But
well, I know your schedule's really challenging.
Yeah.
Your district's really challenging. Your region now is really challenging.
Yeah.
So I know the challenge is in front of you.
Oh, yeah. Love it. I love it.
Well, all right, Coach. Well, we appreciate the time, and we hope to see you down the line. Maybe we'll televise a game, and those highlights in between will be Rodney Williams on the sidelines doing this.
Because that right
maybe
there
carried off the field even.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to put me up there.
Gatorade bath.
I'll take that. I'm scared of heights.
All right. Coach Rodney Williams, the head coach of the Judson Rockets, and we'll be back with more here from the Texas High School Coaches Association Convention in a moment on TexasSportsProductions.com.